Sainsburys Fireworks 2016. As you can see, the front of the leaflet is dominated by this buy two and save big red splodge in the middle. Behind the fires counter, as you'd expect. They have an under 25 ID policy, and standard stuff, isn't it really? Sainsbury's, I have to say, before I start doing individual pieces, was a big surprise last year. We got a couple of items, and I'll put more detail in later. For the reputation they've had, I was surprised in a good way. But I'll talk more about that in a minute. I'll go on to the start with sparklers. There'll be 10-inch sparklers, 50p, good price. £1 for 5 big sparklers, again standard. 15 giant sparklers for £2.50. That's quite a good price. We purchased those last year. They're standard sparklers. Standard are one of the best companies at doing sparklers. Novelty sparklers for £2. They're star shaped, which gives you the novelty factor. But personally, I do not think they're worth £2. You could spend your money on a fun firework for just a couple of quid more, and you could get a much more interesting show. Firework lighters, £1 for 3. Standard do the best port fires, hands down. They are one of the longest burning. They don't smell. Not a huge amount of smoke. They're a brilliant buy. If you buy any of the fireworks here, buy a couple of packets of firework lighters. They are brilliant. Just light the end. It's like a little flare. Touch it to the visco fuse on firework, and it'll light them instantly. Very, very good price for those. Definitely worth buying a couple of packs in case the weather's a bit dodgy. They won't blow out once they're lit. You can't go wrong with those. Small Garden Delights section. Lucky Star selection box for £6. A few pieces there. It's a nice little box actually, surprisingly. They're very, very small fireworks, and they're very short-lived. They last 5 seconds or so for the fountains. But there's a nice little range of effects in there, and there's a Roman candle here. It's that one, Darling Dazzle. That's got a couple of little bursts to it actually. It's got 5 little reports. So if you bought just that box, that'd be a perfect item to end on. It's ideal if you want a quiet selection box for the kids. It is quiet. There's only one fountain that crackles, and it is the Halo fountain there, the little purple one. It's a good box. I can't discourage anyone from getting it. It's ideal for your kids if you've got young children, 2 or 3 years old, first firework kind of thing. Trickster fountain, £8. This has the most disgusting window packaging in it I've ever seen. This is quite a big fountain in real life. You go in the store, it's quite an impressive looking thing in the cabinet. There are 3 small tubes inside it, and the rest is shit over packaging. It is just air. It's not worth £8. You can do much better than that with your money to buy a big fountain. Avoid it at all costs. You will be disappointed by that. Hot Shots, £5. Fast firing missile cake, good price, good piece. Can't go wrong with those if you like the missile effects. Family Fun, 2 for £20, £15 each. Utopia selection box, nice little variety in here. 16 fire, 7 fountain, 3 candle, 2 rockets, 2 shot tubes, wheel, and a cake. Could be that cake there. They're reasonable. The Powerball candle has quite a nice little effect actually. I quite like that one. £15, or you need to buy 2 really to make it worth it. It's not worth £15. If you bought 2 boxes or the box and the cake below, it's a reasonable price if you're looking for a small little display. To be honest, moving on to the cake in the pack, Fantasia is £15. 12 shot cake. That's a 20mm bore piece. It's reasonable if that's what you're after. If you've got £20, as I said in the little leaflet, the little 3 for £20 is probably your best bet. But if you're just sort of looking to pad out an existing display, it's a decent little kit, that one. Skydancer rockets, £5 for 4. Avoid, they're £1.25 a rocket. That's a rip-off. They are very small, really, really small. So avoid those. Shot tubes, £5 for 4. They're not the best value, but I do like the effects in these. They've got a really nice glittering tail. You can certainly do worse than those. Much, much better than the rockets. Avoid, they're probably worth it. I like those. I like the tail on standard shot tubes. So yeah, they're decent for the price. Bonfire Bonanza, Midnight Blitz selection box, and Night Blast cake. We had Midnight Blitz selection box last year. We only bought the box, so it was £20. That's actually got some really nice effects in it. I was surprised. The Dark Space fountain, the big blue one, That's got 50 grams of powder in it, which is quite a lot for any fountain, let alone for a fountain in a selection box. These box fountains here had some nice effects, even the slightly smaller ones. You can see they had reasonable effects. The mine was nice, shot tube was quite powerful, Roman candles decent, wheel was nice, rockets are what you'd expect from a selection box. That was surprising, and I would honestly recommend that somebody bought that if they were in the market for a medium price selection box. I can't discourage anyone, it was a really nice little box for the garden actually, so surprisingly worth buying. Night Blast cake, 20 shots. This is a fan piece, I believe. Yes, there we go, fan cake. If you bought it on the deal, that'd be a nice little garden display. If you weren't interested in buying rockets, you get about half an hour out of the box. If you stretched it out a bit, then you've got your finale piece. Just watch the fan on that. If you've got any trees, then avoid at all costs, obviously. Now the why not add section. Shot tubes, rockets. This is appalling value. These were last year £2 for £25, and that you could almost justify buying them for that price. £18 for 8 shot tubes is a rip-off. Absolute rip-off. When you can buy 8 shot tubes, these are exactly the same. These are the same shot tubes just repackaged. £10 for 4, £10 for 8, £18 for 8. These are a rip-off. Do not buy at any cost. Same with the rockets. 10 1.4G rockets for £18 is shocking. Do not even think about those. They are awful. They're poor value, poor effects for what you're paying. You're getting into Brothers 5 Alive costs there for £18. Buy 2 packs, you've got 10 rockets. They're brilliant. They're shite. Avoid. Party time selection 2 for 40. Affinity box. Shockwave 28 shot cake. I can't say too much about these. I wouldn't want to spend £30 or £20 if you buy 2 and save on a 14-piece box. However, a couple of Seasonal Traditions members have said that that's a reasonable box for the price. A couple of bigger pieces there, a couple of nice cakes, fountains are a bit larger, little cone fountain there, little selection of Roman candles. You could do worse, definitely could do worse, but personally I think it's a bit much. Shockwave, 28 shots, £40. I think it's reasonable and nothing more. It's got window packaging on it. I know that there's a big strip of polystyrene down the middle, so there's a row of tubes here and a row of tubes here, and then a big space. So it could probably be half the size it is actually. Reasonable effects though, I believe. So again, the £2.40 is not the worst price. Spooky surprises, just the Frankenstein fountain. I had this last year. I didn't particularly like it. I think you can do better for your money if you went to Asda and bought the Devil Fountain for £5. It's not the worst. You could do much worse than that if you're after a bit of a novelty to show the kids on Halloween. It's a decent piece. Packaging's nice actually. Ultimate party fun, and all of these avoid. If you're spending £120 on fireworks, do not even think about going to Sainsburys. You could find yourself a nice specialist shop and get far better products. Same with this pack for £100. They're not worth the money. So please do avoid those, because you'll be a bit disappointed if you spend £120 on these fireworks or £100 on this one. And yeah, I'd avoid at all costs that page. So it's a bit of a mixed bag from Sainsburys. Not really a surprise in that sense. They're usually a bit of a mixed bag. Definitely some items that are worth buying. The selection box is surprisingly nice, but the bigger fireworks and the rockets and the shot tubes definitely avoid. Thanks for watching, guys.